take on the world. We're gonna take on the world.
All right, guys, we're back at it again. Episode 181. It's May 13th, 2026, downtown St. Joseph, Michigan. This is the Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast, brought to you by me, of course. I didn't have to say that. But I'm James Gill, your host. This is Joe Hill, the co-host. We have a special guest. He runs Tim's 2, and not only that, he used to be the coach for the Lake Michigan Admirals. Welcome to the show, Chris Glisson. Nice to see you, brother.
With the millions of people watching.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
See, I just gotta look up. People think that we're in the studio like that until they really show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome that we have these many people that love to come on and support us as we support them. But thank you for that.
Definitely.
So let people know your background. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you come from? And who are you?
Well, I tell you, that's a very hard question to ask, but I can tell you where I came from. I was born in Grand Rapids, and when I was 5 years old, my father was called to minister in a little place called Benton Harbor, Michigan. My middle brother, because my other brothers had already graduated and gone, they were way older than I was. My middle brother went to Benton Harbor, graduated in 1976. Being a Baptist minister, he was good friends with Sinbad, and they hung out, played ball together. They, the preacher kids, they always say, watch out for the preacher kids.
He was, definitely.
Oh, Lord. But David Heck is right. Man, is that David? Oh,
yeah.
But, yeah. So, after a while, I went to, little elementary school, Benton Harbor Johnson Elementary, which is, out off Territory Road.
Yeah.
Ended up over in, we went back to Grand Rapids. My father had cancer in his throat, and they said he was never going to minister again. He came back out of that and came back because the church had burnt down. And he started a church to raise funds to build it back in Benton Harbor again. So we came back and ended up in Coloma.
Okay.
So from 5th grade on, I graduated. I was the Coloma Comms. I'm sure you're going to ask me, but I've seen your episode. Watch
fellow alumni.
I like the comment, though. I do.
Fellow alumni of the Comms myself. So
see, that's what I'm talking about. What year did you graduate?
91.
Okay, I was 87.
Okay.
I was the last All-State quarterback, I think, from there.
Nobody will ask me that one.
Matter of fact, we
may even cross paths at one point in time.
I'm sure we probably did.
Yeah, you had to. You were a freshman, he was a senior.
Yeah, well, that means I was in the other building across the way.
You were. Isn't that weird how that was? The 8th and 9th grade was in a little pods.
But that's how it would go.
We had to walk to the high school for classes and stuff like that,
and go down to the Allwood to play ball, right?
Yeah,
because there was no gym.
No gym, the rubber floor.
I know. I'll never forget that.
Yeah,
I know. I had. I love Coloma. I was a teacher for 32 years.
Yeah.
She started teaching in 90. She graduated from Olivet. You ready?
Wow. That's a full school.
And I know I didn't go there knowing it was the Comets.
Yeah.
But anyway, she graduated and came back and taught there until just last year. She just retired after 32 years at Coloma.
Wow. That's a long time.
Wow.
We love Coloma.
I guess. So you still live in Coloma?
I do. We have a house on Papa Lake.
Okay.
And my mother-in-law, she used to own the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Coloma.
Yep.
And
yeah, that's right.
We're with her. We have half our stuff in there, and half my stuff we take care of her. I always say she takes care of us. But
so after you graduated from high school in Coloma, what'd you do after that?
Well, we went to Olivet College. Got my degree. I was going to be a teacher and coach. I thought, man, this is what I want to do. So I got a hyper group major, health, physical education, recreation major with a biology minor. Man, I'm smart now.
Okay. I had to stop you there. For a minute. Why do I always talk to coaches or gym teachers that once they go into coaching or teaching gym, or they have to have a health education behind it.
Well, it's kind of weird because I mean, physical, right? People would call it gym,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, that's where it was. But back in our day, there was no gym.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah. We didn't have
You
gym.
didn't have a gym?
No.
So it
because
kind of motivated me to say, you know what, this is wrong. So I wanted to go off. You know, I was a little hillbilly kid. My dad was from Kentucky, right?
yeah.
My parents, if you heard them, you'd think, how is Chris talking like he's from Michigan, right? Like, I mean, like what's going on? And then you find out that my dad was full-blooded Cherokee Indian. I could just keep on going, but you know, but we, you know, I wanted to go and become a teacher and then come back. So I went to Olivet, got my degree. And then when I came back, this is crazy, but you remember Krennic van and RV?
Yeah, it's still there. It's
Yeah.
still in Columbus.
Well, when it was just Krennic vans, it was on Red Arrow. It was, you know what I'm talking about? It is
Yeah,
Red
it
Arrow
Yeah,
Highway.
it is still going towards Waterville.
But it used to be on the
Yeah,
left-hand
it used to be
side.
on the
there,
left-hand
right?
side. Now it's on the
All right, folks. This is a 1987 Dodge van. Now it has the 38-ounce action back carpeting with the anti-rust proofing around the corner. What kind of engine does it have? Hold on, I'll be right back. Hey, what kind of engine is it? Oh, that's a 318 mag. You know, like I didn't even know, but I was being a teacher. I thought, man, I got to supplement my income, right? I hadn't even gotten the job being a teacher yet, but I thought, well, my quarterback coach was working at Krennic. It was vans at the time.
That wasn't RVs back then. Yeah.
Well, I became the only salesperson for 2 years. I made $75,000 in 3 months
Wow.
How old?
selling conversion van motorhomes right after college. Right
after, yeah.
right up. I made
Yeah.
$75,000 in 3 months.
Sure.
Bill Clinton became the president when I was like delivering like a Class A motorhome making 30. I'm like, this is great. I love this. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't be a teacher. And that's how it all began. I'm like, man.
So degrees and everything you had gone out of it,
Just gone.
and just decided to be a salesman and loved the life.
It started there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, right? So it started selling vans, conversion van, but it was just vans. But then I wanted bigger. And so I was telling Scott, I'm like, you know, and Scott was too. He was like, man, we need to get more. So we moved out by the highway in a little trailer. I was the only salesperson. I was the only person. I greeted the people. I sat them down. I sold them I showed them the vehicle. I closed the vehicle. I even did the paperwork for the vehicle. I had to, back in those days, you faxed
Yeah.
the credit, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like what?
I remember you then because you were they were part of Venetian for forever.
I worked Venetians.
Yeah, because
I worked
we took all those.
county fairs.
It just opened up the doors for you then.
Open it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, because we borrowed all the RVs and everything else, vans for transporting the entertainers, and
I remember that.
so they have the like a dressing room.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to meet half of them, and that was actually my apartment for my place of stay for that weekend. It was down.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, we had 3 of them.
Well, I did it for
Yeah.
I did it for a few years, and then I ended up Schroeder Motor Mall, Dave Schroeder at the time before he died.
Yeah.
He says, hey man, you need to come and sell for me. Because we were selling, Class A, or we were using to sell a brand new motorhome, you have to have you have to have the actual, vehicle from a new franchise. And if you don't have a franchise, a Ford or Dodge or a Chevy, who do you
Sure.
use? So we used, we'd use, Dave Schroeder for Schroeder Motor Mall and Woodham's and for Ford or whatever. We just got creative. That's where I go. And, I just started selling. I'm like, so we went to Louisville and brought in coachmen. That's how it all started. And now, of course, today, Scott's, he's done well, and his son is, highly involved.
Taking over. Yeah.
And that place has grown too, man.
What?
Well, just
Krennic?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Krennic
It's
has
definitely
grown.
Yeah.
Krennic has grown a lot. So
Schroeder's was cool too.
Schroeder's,
Yeah.
Schroeder's is awesome until they sold. They had
When
to
Dave
sell.
died.
Yeah, when they sold.
When Dave died, he gave me the keys to the back. I was the only one that could go in the back, and they had like a basketball court and all this stuff in the back. And when he died, it was just, it was like time to move on.
Well, usually what happens with people, the sons take over, they don't want to take over and stuff like that. And then they just run it how they want to run it. And they try to reinvent the wheel, and you can't reinvent the wheel that's already been working fine.
You can reinforce it.
You can reinforce it, but sometimes not reinforcing is the best thing either.
Right, true.
So besides selling, you did that for how long? For what, 6-7 years?
Well, I did it. Probably 13. Well, see, I went to McFadden Filling Motors, and I was the general manager. I ran the whole place for, I don't know, maybe 8-9 years. I was because I was a go-getter. I wanted to figure out, because I wanted to do more than just this and more than just, I was young. I'm like, oh man, I want more. And then I ended up, doing that with them. And then one day, my brother, he says, man, he goes, I need some help. I'm NASA, the Weather Channel, and scientists had got together and said they found a pocket of air that he could live in. He has MS and Parkinson's, and at a young age, and he's like, they're moving me out to this place called La Jolla. I'm like, you mean La Jolla? I said, like, oh, remember, we're hillbilly kids. So he's like, now, he's taken this leap of faith, to leave Radford, Virginia, where it's, 2,400 feet elevations, and his body's, in a wheelchair for 10 years, to taking the leap of faith and going out to Mount Soledad, which is, in La Jolla. His neighbor was Goldie Hawn and Catherine Zeta-Jones was around. He's living with the famous. We're from Benton Harbor.
He's bumping elbows.
Like, what's going on? But when he went there, within 2 weeks, he was able to straighten his fingers, and 2 weeks after that, was able to walk again.
Wow!
Now,
so that actually worked.
So 10 years prior, it did. And in 10 years prior to that, he was in a wheelchair. He was starting schools in 19 different countries. One of them was in Ghana, West Africa. Dr. Ebenezer Seifa, he's family to us. He loves my brother because he would call him in, and they would go to, minister and raise money for their, building the Dream Center. And one day, when I first met Dr. Seifa, look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbor. This is the day. This is the day. I'm high-fiving people. I'm like, high five your neighbor. I mean, this guy was so cool. I'm like, oh my God. And so next thing you know, he goes, give me $7,000. I'm like, oh, I'm writing no check. I'm like, wait, man, did I just get that guy? And I helped put the building on, their building, and that was when I kind of crossed over to find out, the real meaning of joy, right? I mean, he was just so exciting, and to be able to bat somebody with a vision like that, because you can be a visionary, but if you don't have a visionary backer,
the vision is nothing,
right?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
You run into, like, you're hustling, you're trying to figure it out, you're always, and Dr. Seifa had come to us to believe it. Well, when we heard my brother was walking again, he flew in from Ghana, and I flew in from here. Next thing you know, I'm a teacher on an Indian reservation at a 60-foot floor. I'm like, what just happened? I mean, that's the speed up on it, but that's how it went down. They asked the prince. They asked the Prince of Ghana. Of course, he's the Prince of Ghana, by the way. They asked him to be the speaker, and at the Indian reservation in Pala, California, and they wanted my brother and I to go with. Well, he goes, hey, can you wear this like garb? It was like a dress. That's what it looked like. I'm like, I don't know what a dress. People are gonna see me or something. No, but we put this garb on, but they're $30,000 garbs. It's not like, So when we walked into this like church service, which was in a living room of this lady's house, who we found out was the mother of the res, but we didn't know this because I'm just going there to support the Prince of Ghana, right? So we go into this place, and we're walking in, and like, they think I'm from Africa now. You look at me now, I'm just saying, you must be from South Africa. No. but we walked into this place, right? And it was like, wow, and I had this little rattler in my hand. Oh, this is the day, this is the day, and I was just in the moment. I'm like, I'm gonna go with the flow and the culture, and all of a sudden this lady stands up, She's like 5'2" and 500 pounds and a walker. And when she stood up, everybody bowed their head. I'm like, I'm just trying to read the room here. I'm thinking she must be powerful. Doreen Coe was her name. She was the mother of the rest. On the Indian reservations, there's a lot of people that own a lot. Like when you own a piece of land, it's usually with like 20 other Indians. It's not just like you're not just by yourself. But it was her family that owned all that land, and she owned most of the rest. But we didn't know this at the time either. But her power was beyond power. She goes, listen, these kids, we've gone from 2,000 members down to 900 from gambling, alcohol, drug and addiction, and killing themselves. Like, it's like they have no passion. We need education on our land. And I'm going, and I know how my brother is, right? And there's doctors say these guys started schools all over the world. And here's my brother looking at me. I'm like, I'm not going to be teaching on this dirt floor. You know what I'm not doing it. Yeah, I'm telling God, like, God, don't even try. I'm not playing this. I'm going back home to St. Joe. I lived in Edgewater, right? I was the third house built in Edgewater. I'm like, I'm going back to my nice house. I'm not going to do this.
I got to sleep on dirt. Nope, not gonna do it. I like my bed. It's like camping. Sorry, I'm not sleeping in a tent without an air mattress. It's fucking sleeping bag.
Is there heat somewhere? Is there any air conditioning over here? How about ESPN? Anybody ESPN?
I'm sleeping like the Amish.
But I mean, I could keep talking. I mean, it's just crazy. My life, that's when I crossed over though, because, of course I had my degree. I hadn't used it yet.
Yeah.
Well,
And I'm thinking, man, they really do need me. Because my dad, I called him dad. My brother, when he'd go into elevation, he'd start to feel bad. And in Pala, it's 1,000 feet. It's higher than sea level, like it would be in La Jolla.
Yeah.
So guess who became the principal and only teacher of a school with 8 kids begging me to stay there on a dirt floor tent with a pit bull that would sneak in and poop right on the floor. I'm like, and they wanted to be there. Well, it grew from that to every day thanking God for what he's about ready to do. And then next thing you know, we built $750,000 building, Dell computers for every kid, gymnasiums, like, and to realize that they had money. Not all of them, because there's 12 tribes on their land, but the Kupas, part of the Pala Indian Reservation, were the ones that were getting paid, and they're the ones that were begging us to come in.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, the school turned into all of that. And 45 kids, and I was high-fiving. I mean, I loved it. It was the greatest. And I started coaching these, the 6'7" kid with ponytail that went almost down to the floor, would slap people on a rebound. I'm like, keep your hair, man. Keep your hair. We're gonna work with that.
Picture it.
But little point guard that would dribble on rocks, And then of course my nephew, who was recruited at University of Tennessee with Bruce Pearl, and that's another story. But this is like the high school team that I put together, just like, okay, we're going to put this team together. Well, my brother puts us in a league, and I'm like, I'm not expecting to win. I'm teaching them the triangle offense, right? The big guy, I don't need you dribbling the ball. Don't show them what you can't do. Show them what you can do. We're going to keep that hidden. You can't dribble left-handed, so let's push it to the right. Let's work the offense from inside out. And I just started coaching. Next thing you know what? We're in the championship. I've got 1,000 in. You go, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm with them. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. We're in the championship game and we lose by 2.
Oh man!
And the Indians ran on the floor and got all around. We're lifting the kids up, and the other team thought they lost, but we lost. They didn't care if we won. They're like, that's the best game we've ever seen, And I didn't realize that they hadn't even left the res. So the people that were there had never even left the res in years.
Wow!
So for them to go all the way into San Diego from Pala, 45 minutes away, that was a big deal. And I was watching miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle until I came back.
What made you want to come back?
My family. Something about being married and have 2 kids at St. Joe and living in Edgewater. I had to pay taxes over there,
Have you go back?
I did it for a year, and of course, they flew me back every year, and I gave the Indians that graduated $250,000 check every time they graduated, and $11,000 a month for the rest of their life. They get paid from the casino that's on the property.
Yeah. Like I,
Wow.
And
wow.
and they're on the sovereign nation line.
I hate to say it like this because I always sound bad when I say it, but I'm gonna
We'll try to reword it then.
no. I always say it the same way.
So why you even say that?
Because
man?
it's how it goes. Because how it is. We took the land from the Indians. Technically.
No, I didn't.
No, but no.
That's right.
I had no part of
I've been
that.
trying to find out where that Indian lands have been.
But we took the land from the Indians to be here. The Indians are now reversing the toll and taking our money from us because we had to go to their land to gamble.
That's what you call reparations.
And it's all going for full circle. And I always think, damn, that's some messed up shit.
Well, think about this.
It is.
When Christopher Columbus landed, I'm just saying what I heard, because I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I don't read. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't do that one.
But they called the Indians. Do you know why they call them the Indians?
Because how they were addressed.
Because they thought they were in India.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't.
That's how they
This is
addressed
a
them.
new land. Yeah.
So that's called them the Indian.
Yeah, because they thought they were going to India for the spices and everything else. So they were going for the spices, and they thought they landed in India.
You got to remember that
Yeah.
everybody thought the world was flat at that time.
That's true.
So it just cracks me up.
And there's still
that-
people that
Still,
Believe
think
it or
Oh,
about
not.
there's
that.
actually there's
Yeah.
a whole new.
Flat earthers.
Yeah. Yep. So it was just funny. It's a whole different type of scenario, and I always think, damn, reverses are changed, but they still live on their own land that's still not very big and everything else. And I always feel bad. I'm thinking we're all free, but they're still not somewhat free.
I don't know.
Everybody's not-
I don't know, man. When I was there, they got to drive any car they wanted. They get to live anywhere they want.
Yeah.
But
There's some places that are like
everybody thinks that buys happiness.
No.
See, what
That-
happens
yeah.
is
That's true.
they lose their passion, and that's what we found on the Indian reservation when I was teaching. That we found out that kids were being socially promoted, and so they were graduating with a 3rd to 6th grade degree in their 6th grade level.
Yeah.
When they're graduating, and then they just sitting there drinking pot or smoking pot,
Yeah.
drinking beers
Because they have this newfound money now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I can go get it whatever I want.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I went and negotiated car deals for a lot of the people on the res. I did.
Yeah.
They're like, man, Chris, didn't you say? I'm like, come on, let's go. But they could have whatever they wanted. But what the mother of the res had said that day, she goes, the kids, there is no passion for anything. There's no drive for anything. They're just like,
yeah.
or they're existing because they can do whatever they want, but there's nothing that they're wanting because they have it all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They think money is everything, and it isn't.
So
And you
Okay.
said this before. I mean, money is the root of all evil.
yes.
Yeah.
I have said that.
It's
Yes.
not necessarily key to happiness either. So when the lady found that out, they were doing all this stuff, drinking, drugs, and all that. They needed education more than anything.
Education can't be stolen, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
yours.
Knowledge can be stolen. Man,
You can steal it
knowledge
from
is key.
yourself. You can. I mean,
Knowledge is the key.
if you stop learning, it's over.
Yeah.
Like we're learning right now about
That's
each
what
other.
happened to
Yeah.
me. That's what happened to me.
But you stop learning.
I stopped learning. I used to be smart.
Oh.
Can't sound it out, but I used to be smart.
That is an interesting story, man. I tell you what. Yeah, I mean, how did you feel after you got through and did all? How long did you teach there?
I did for a year,
For
a little over a year.
A little
and-
over here.
Yep, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're family for life. They know me. There's a statue out front of the building. It's of my brother. He was
Yeah.
the one that took the chance, and I'll never forget it. We were supposed to move into a building on the first day, and instead the 60-foot little dirt floor building little tent. It was a 60-foot tent that they had their like little powwows and
Yeah.
dancing, and had little youth groups in there for church. They wanted it to be a good place, and we were supposed to move into a modular classroom building. But when we were bringing the building, they're like, "Oh, we thought you were putting on the outside of the sovereign nation line. We can't go in there."
Oh,
They're like,
really?
What? And so they turned that away, and the Indians were calling us like, please don't turn around. Like we were taught in TPs, we'll be taught on a dirt floor tent. Now I'm thinking, I'm not teaching on a dirt floor. I mean, that's how I was.
Yeah.
I was still in myself instead of for others. But when I saw those kids, sweeping the floor with broom and dust everywhere, and we put white plastic down, and we put indoor outdoor carpeting down on that.
Oh yeah.
And then EA Sports,
It's in the game.
you know, they donated seats like this, and the kids were like, man, these are the coolest seats ever.
Yeah.
And then we had the greatest stuff. It's 110 degrees in there with the pit
The
bull
bull taking the dump,
right? I mean, I'm like, man, like, but those kids loved learning so much, it motivated me, and they taught me
Yeah.
how to be a good person. Because you know what, you think you're good, and you love God, and oh, this is all great.
Totally change the perception of life, so to speak.
Man. See, JOY, my dad's, before he died, he was a minister, like I said, for many years. And before he died, he goes, what does JOY spell?
Joy.
Joy. Yeah.
What is joy to you? That, before you even answer that, right? You're thinking about, go ahead. What is it?
My answer I knew my answer right off the top. My answer is, I haven't figured that out yet because I don't want to receive it yet.
Ooh, that's a choice.
But my description of joy is just a peace of mind. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just be able to, I don't know, unwind anytime I want to and detach.
Yeah.
That's joy for me.
And you know what? I think I told him I'm like making a lot of money. Like I want to travel to this place in the world. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he goes, let me make it really simple for you. And he goes, I'm 42 years older than you. He goes, when you start off, you get experience, and then you get education. So you get, there's a thing missing until you get later on in life. So you've experienced it. You've, what am I trying to say? The knowledge of it. So you have the knowledge, you have the experience, but there's one thing that you'll never get until you continue to get older. And when you think you're old enough, there's someone older, right?
Yeah.
It's called wisdom.
Mm.
And he goes, this is what joy is to me. And he looked me in the eye. This is right before he died. He goes, J is for Jesus, O is for others, and Y is for yourself. Put Jesus first and others before yourself.
And everything will fall in line.
Everything will fall in line. No matter what choices you make in life, and no matter what you do, it's more complicated, obviously, right? Life is throwing you curveballs left and right. And I think sometimes we take God and we put him over here for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not Jesus. Don't get it twisted, right? Like, I thank God he saved a wretch like me. That's why I tell people, whether you're a believer or not, whether you believe in the Bible or not, I love you. And the Bible says faith, love, and hope. And the greatest of these is love. More than faith and hope. I believe that people's choices, and I'm not going to judge anybody because I don't want to be judged, right? I do not want to judge anybody. I don't, people say, man, what church you go to? I'm like, church on the move. We're in church right now.
Yeah.
There's not a building. There's not one building that I say, oh, this is my church. This is where I go. Like, we are the church.
Yeah.
And I believe that's where, feet on the ground and getting to know people. And it's not about, oh, you don't believe in God? I'm like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you. Are you kidding me? Man, I love you, man. What are you talking about? You don't have to put that divide down, because your relationship with God or whatever, right? Wherever that is that you're in at that moment, when you connect, there's no stopping you. And if you put JOY and really understand that, man, we're going to make a difference today.
Yeah.
And that's where I've been going ever since.
Like that.
That is definitely a provoking thought right there. I tell you what.
Detach away from that.
You can't,
right?
You can't.
It
Well,
draws.
you're right. When you put a block on people that aren't aligned with you and your same thoughts and ideas, then you limit yourself.
You're
you
just
limit-
stopping.
yeah,
You're
you-
stopping learning about people and
Damn,
learning
yeah.
about where they're
Too.
coming from and where they.
You limit yourself to great things that could possibly happen
You better believe it.
just by opening that door, opening that gate for a person to come in and get to know you, and you get to know that person.
Oh, is that
That-
why you stuck me around?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah,
Oh,
open
look
the
at
door
that.
for
Is that
you.
what we did with Scott?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Welcome, Scott.
We didn't know him until now.
Man,
So,
you
yeah.
you are preaching right now, brother.
That's
You're
pretty
cooking
cool.
right now,
Look at
man.
that.
I just say, just live it, right? It's
Yeah.
how we live. And guess what? We're all born sinners.
Oh, yeah.
I ask God to forgive me every day. Like, Lord, whether I did or if I didn't, or I don't remember if I did, like, Lord, please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And for everybody I've wronged, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Because I've forgiven you. I've been wronged so many times in my life, and I'm sure you guys have too.
Oh yeah.
But there's this verse in
Every
the
day.
Bible. Think about this. To have unforgiveness in your heart will keep you away from the heavens opening and all the blessings coming from heaven. What? Now, in the Bible, see, I didn't get the gift of knowledge in the Bible. If you look it up,
Yeah.
it's what it's like we deserve it. God wants you to deserve the blessings from heaven, right? But if you have that, man, I'm not going to forgive him. I'm not going to forgive
Mhm,
her.
mhm.
I'm not going to forgive that. I'm not going to It's you that carries that. And to release that
Still there.
and say, Lord, forgive everybody. Look, forgive everybody. Now, that's easier said than done, right? Until that person comes back in your face, and man, you better back it up. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling because we get in front of God. See, we put God over here for a second. Crazy, right?
That hampers your ability to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it stops it. In the Bible, it says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Now, it took me many years, and I still have to read it to really soak it in, but trust in the Lord with everything, not me, because if I trusted in me, that's where I get in trouble.
But if you forgive, like I forgive everything I've done, everything I've passed, everything with my family.
But have you forgiven the people that wronged you?
Yeah, I
That's
have,
the question.
but I will never forget it. I rather forget it so I can forgive. I rather forget what happened first,
I don't think you will.
then forgive it.
And it's always a triggering mechanism that'll make you remember what happened.
That's what I don't want.
But you can't help that.
I know.
Yeah. So
Well, and what you guys are doing, right? Getting
Yeah.
a podcast going, meeting some really interesting people, and
Yeah.
the more memories, the more things. I'm here to tell you, when you get older, you forget some things.
oh yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
things that you think that you would have never forgot about, it comes back to you from a friend that from the past. Like, man, you remember that one time? I'm like, no, man, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It's like it starts going
Yeah.
away because
It happens every
just
week.
fill yourself up with good stuff like you're doing.
Yeah.
Continue to move forward and touching people's lives. And whoever's listening today, you know, someone's receiving this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Someone's feeling this, and that's all. And if it's just one person, that's
All it takes.
that's all it takes.
Man, that's some deep thoughts right there. You just put me on a path that I needed to be on for a long time, just to open up my door for different people so I can let them in to get to know who I am, so I can know them and pass that on. So that's good stuff right
That's what
there.
we're
Man.
doing now.
Well, no, yeah, but not like
It's
that.
good,
Not like
though.
the way he was describing it.
I
Not
know.
like
But
that.
that's how you're doing it now, because people didn't know who you were.
Yeah,
That comes
Oh,
out.
yeah,
Or the
yeah,
people that do watch the show,
yeah.
they are now realizing that
But I'm talking
you
about
are
that-
opening up your life.
I'm going deeper than that. I want
know
to
you
go
are.
to the people that have wronged me or have done something that's negative. I don't want anything to do with that person anymore. You know what I mean?
Really?
Or you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
You know, not that person. You
I know
keep-
a lot of people.
Well, yeah. You only know 2.
I know 4.
Okay. Well, anyway, neither here nor there. But
I was
I
thinking of
digress.
2 that you were thinking of, probably. But yeah, I've done that. Pretty much, I always forgive people right away. The only ones I haven't forgive yet are the ones that are closest to me. Is my family.
You're stuck dealing with it, right? You got to be right up in there, like
I haven't seen them since Christmas, and actually, I just saw my mom today, and she just brought up the old shit again that happened.
yeah, she brought the old memories, huh?
Yeah, no, she brought up what happened. I
I
went,
felt that.
I'm done. I said, I forgive you. I went past this. I'm living on my own. I'm living everything else. The only thing I wish I had was my daughter, but you guys took that. So,
Well,
'cause she's favoring them a little bit more because
Yeah.
they do a lot more for her, but she's just using them.
damn.
What's
what I
that? It's that. You know what? It's that judge
It's
part, right? It's the
Yeah.
judging part, or you can kind of see things a little bit further because you're older.
Yeah.
You see it, but they don't see it. You just gotta love them through it. How many
I know.
times do your parents say, "Don't do this," and you
Did it
Do it.
anyway. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And no matter what,
No, they never told me don't do this. They told me just don't get caught.
yeah, make
And you
sure
did it
get-
anyway.
But they told me I don't do it. They just don't get caught. And I went, okay.
Now, Chris, make sure you get home before midnight. There's nothing good after midnight. That's how my dad
Yeah.
used to say.
Yep.
No,
And
actually,
no
my parents.
curfew.
I had no curfew.
home
But
at
you
midnight.
left you with the
decision.
responsibility. Yeah.
I'd be back. Man, I was there right at midnight. Not because there was a there was no curfew.
And then you know what? That's something that you can throw down the road to your children.
Yeah. Well,
Give them that responsibility and see how they handle it. You know, just hey, I trust you.
That's it.
You make the decision until you can't make the decision anymore.
My daughters were both raised in the same household, and they're different, right?
Yeah.
One's 26 and the other one is 23. They both are like doing great in life right now.
Yeah.
But in their life, they made mistakes. Who hasn't, right? And you got to love them through it. You know, the base is there. You talk to them. You leave an opening door. Now, look, I'm not the greatest parent in the whole world. I just have the greatest relationship with my daughters. When they were little, I said, you get 2 questions to ask me a day, and I'll give you 100% straight up.
Honest answer.
Not an opinion. This is real life. It'd probably come from the word. Is going to say, well, that was, but if I come with the word, you're not going to, you know, and I'd tell them that when they're little. And they'd come and ask me the crazy questions. Oh my God. You know, but I said, I'm going to give it to you. And I did. Well, what happens though, is they get older, like 26 years old. My oldest is probably going to get married soon. And my youngest is flying all over the world. They tell me everything. I said, I don't need to know that. But Dad, I'm like, I don't need to hear about that guy or that, right?
Yeah.
You know, but it's great. I mean, the relationship is strong.
Oh, I had a strong relationship until last year, but with everything that's happened in your life so far to what you've told us, you're the type of guy that will not take anything back. You love the experiences you had.
Well, good, bad, or indifferent,
Yeah.
right? I mean, not to switch it up, but imagine I have $1.47. I just got back from England and Ireland. We did a tour, and I had the tallest man in the United States playing for me. I had pulled him out of New Hampshire. I saw him in a picture with the Yukon women on a school
with his
visit.
wingspan.
With his wingspan, 8'6" or something like that.
Wow.
He's 7'8.5".
Yeah.
He touches almost 13 feet. He has size 26 shoes, 13.5-inch hands. I'll show you pictures later. His name's Big Bob Wegner. He's the tallest.
I've seen him once down at Czars.
Yeah, I met him.
Wasn't he down at Czars at one point?
No,
he didn't come down.
No, that's a white guy. This is a white guy. The black guy had Shigari Aline.
He's
He's 7'4".
Okay,
He's only 7'4".
Yeah,
But right, I mean, they're still tall.
Yeah.
He had an 8'1". Matter of fact, he just got baptized a couple weeks ago in Manhattan.
Yeah,
that's another guy. You know
I
that
met him. I met him half your team. Yeah,
but you know, it's stuff like that. You know where was I going? I'm sorry, I lost my
train of thought.
Yeah, there.
It's okay. It happens to me all the time.
7'8".
So 7'8". I have $1.47, 7'8.5". I have $1.47, and I just got back, and we started in a week. The church, I don't know if you go down Pipestone. There was the Lighthouse something or other. Lisa Gorman had a little nonprofit, you know, right in there. Well, before she had gotten in there, they wanted to give that church to me for $1. And I had moved all the furniture in there, and I was on the phone with players saying, "Hey, listen, man, I think it was 2014-ish. I think." I said, "You won't." No, it was 2016 maybe. But I was telling them, you guys, I'm going to put a team together. We're going to be right in the middle of Benton Harbor. I want to make a difference. We've gotten this church given to us, and in the basement is a basketball court. They're like, what? I said, a place where you could play all the time. I said, but you're going to be sleeping in one room. There's going to be like bunk beds, you know, like, I mean, this isn't jail or whatever, but you're going to lose a little bit of your freedom. But this church is big. You can sleep in on the pew if you want. I mean, I think this is going to be really good. And they're like, we're in. I mean, I'm getting like really solid basketball players from around the world, and they're ready to move into the church. Well, Big Bob, again, I have $1.47. I can't, for $1, I can buy a church, right? I'm thinking, hey, you know, I got 47 cents left. That's how I am. I'm like, let's go. Because, you know, faith is big with me, because I know God to make sense out of no sense. And
I
when
like that.
and so next thing you know it, we about 3 days before the season started, or before the not season, but before the players moved in and came here, the boiler went out of the church.
Oh, really? Wow.
$250,000 bill. I couldn't buy the church. I couldn't for sure pay $250,000 a boiler. I didn't have the time to pull things together, right? The guys are moving in. You could see your breath. It's freezing snow out on the ground. So I put out on Facebook, I'm like, look, I'm not afraid to ask. In the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, and knock and the door will be open to you. So I said, I'm asking. I need a place for these players to stay. Next thing you know, we're staying in a nunnery on Paw Paw Lake, where you can sleep 41 people inside this beautiful house that has a swimming pool, jacuzzi. Like it had a playhouse where you could play pool. And the guy goes, well, or it was a lady, that was managing the property. She goes, I'm talking to these guys, this is where the nuns used to go and retire. But when the owners died, they kind of moved them along, and now they're going to sell the property. But until then, I mean, maybe we can work something out. It's like $9,000 a week in the summer, I'm like,
Can't do that, right?
I want $1.47.
Right.
And I'm not kidding. My wife thought I was crazy. And I am. No. But that year, we stayed in that beautiful house all season long. We went to Rochester, played in front of 9,000 people for the championship game, lost on a 3-point shot where the guy was like literally out of bounds when he made the shot. But the reason why I didn't contest it was because the next day we were flying to Beijing, China, and we were going to Hangzhou, Hangzhou, Changzhou, Chengdu. We went to 7 provinces total, not only once, but 5 times we went to China. And that I only had $1 at the starting of that season, made it to the championship round. Now, I could tell you the amazing, we could be here all day talking about the amazing, unbelievable miracles that happened leading up to that. But to get through that season and to get to that point,
Yeah.
and then sign every single one of those players overseas, tell me there's not a God.
Yeah. You get it.
Because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I lived faith and I saw it happen. I mean, I 22 hours a day I was up. There was no sleep. The sleep was a waste of time for me.
So how did you get the basketball team started, though? What made you? Did someone say, "Hey, you can add a team to this, or you can join a semi-pro basketball team"?
No, they came to me because the semi-pro teams, they didn't pay. They didn't offer places for them to eat. They didn't offer places for them to stay. Nothing of that. And I wasn't really interested in that. But my brother, the one that was in the wheelchair, that had left California, his safe zone where he lived, to move to Tennessee because Bruce Pearl wanted his son to play for him. But his son has dyslexia. And they had a scribe and reader program at University of Tennessee. The kid could shoot 35 3-pointers. I mean, like in a game, like you've never seen anything like it. The guy was just a really good shooter. He had other things he needed to work on, but Bruce Pearl was willing to do it. Redshirt man, whatever. So on the way from California to Tennessee, a drunk driver hits their Penske truck, and my brother and his wife were in the van up front, and in back was his best friend and his daughter and son in the Penske truck. It rolled 7 times outside of Dallas, rolled on the ground, and they survived it. But they were late getting to Tennessee for the Sky Reader, and then they cut the program.
Oh man.
Lost connections with Josh, right? Where's Josh at? Nobody's coming, whatever. And then by the time he got there, it was over. It's done. So my brother calls me. He goes, I know this is crazy, but you want to start a professional basketball team? I'm like, what? Me being health physical record, it's kind of like, man, this is what I've always wanted to do. So I flew into Knoxville, Tennessee, and this was I still had my house, right? Edgewater. I mean, it's a expensive house and an expensive, I think my monthly, break even was $9,000 a month to live. I mean, my wife had nice cars. I had nice cars. I'm like, what am I doing? Right. So I get out to Tennessee to start this basketball team. And I watched how it changed people's lives. We went into schools, we raised $350,000 in 2.5 months and started a season that I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, it was unbelievable. I had guys from University of Tennessee had played overseas and come back from Spain, and Damon Johnson, and I had a Dane Bradshaw coming in. They call him the mayor. He was the first white guy to see the Tennessee basketball court. But he came from White Station, could light it up. Like, they were playing for me. I just couldn't believe it. But to watch what it did. But my brother got sick because he's in elevation.
Yeah.
So he went back to California, and I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee by myself, and my wife and daughters are here. Here I am again. Like, what? You got me involved in it again. Because the first time it was the Indian reservation. Now I'm on. So I sold the team, the Metal Arc Women, the Harlem Globetrotter, one of the originals, him and our journalist that was, he used to write books for Metal Arc Women. And he lived in Knoxville. That how the world. Dee Dee Trotter, the gold medalist in the 4x400, relay. She became the bronze individual too. Is a really great friend of mine. She was my statistician.
Wow.
I had Gloria Johnson. As in Brittany Griner's ex, right? That she like one of my players, Mookie Blue. Mookie lived with us and our family until my brother's death. He's the high flyer. He plays professional basketball, 58-inch vertical jump.
Wow.
His brother, who became family with us, I'm going all over, but check this out. We're Thanksgivings. We're with the Blue family. Well, who's the Blue family? Have you ever heard of Chris Blue, the one that won?
Yeah.
American Idol.
Yeah.
Josh Blue.
I mean The Voice. I'm sorry, The Voice. Chris Blue won The Voice the year that I was in China. My kids were going, "Oh my God, Chris is gonna win this!" I'm like, "Oh my God, this is great!" And then all of a sudden, my phone went dead, and I was going on the plane 13 hours. Like, I couldn't believe it when I got off the plane. They're like, "Did you hear Chris?" But Chris is he's family to us. We had Thanksgivings together, because of Mookie, his brother, and the Blue brothers are 5 of them, and they go and they sing in churches, and that's what their drive is. And Alicia Keys, is the one that picked, Chris on her team, and they ends up winning the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
They say he'll be the next Michael Jackson entertainer. He's that great, but he never chose to go away from Christian music, and so he kind of stayed where he was. And he's okay. He's very good. He's very successful. He's very whatever, and people love him, and he's doing his thing, and life is good, But that's how it all turns out. But years later, the next year, I came back here and I started the Lake Michigan Admirals because I wanted this area to experience what I just went through.
So you sold the team in Tennessee, Tennessee. You sold that team, and then you created your own here?
My name is Chris Glisson, and I own a professional basketball team. You mean semi-pro? No, it's professional. These are paid positions. And I said, what's the name of it? It's called the Lake Michigan Blank. We're going to actually go out to all the superintendents, 30 schools, and get the approval to speak to the principals, the athletic directors and coaches, and then have them reach out to their kids to name our team. And we'll have a contest. And they're like, who has time for that? I go, I do, because I believe this is how we're going to do it. And I went around to all those schools and got people excited about it. And they can't, a little boy in Hartford, his dad was in the Navy, and a girl from St. Joe named it the Admirals. Well, my father-in-law was a high-ranking officer, captain in the Navy, and I thought, this is perfect. I'm by the water, Navy. This is great. Lake Michigan Admirals.
That makes more sense.
That goes well together.
Oh, who's your coach? Well, I don't know. We're going to interview him. And who's going to play for you? They're going to come from all over the world. And where are you going to play? We're going to play everywhere. Oh, all I need is a $500 sponsor, right? Sponsor the podcast, right? Yeah. Like, we're just looking for, like, how can I help you? What's your return on investment? Well, the return on investment is what I see, is what I just went through, is helping these young men, highlight their skills so that they can move on.
Interesting.
And they're like, well, who came up with that? I said, well, my brother and I did. And it worked. And I believe that, and they're like, well, I mean, but you don't even know where you're playing. So I'm sponsoring something that you don't even know where you're playing. I said, but I know I am playing. Well, why don't you call us when you get going? I'm like, no problem. And I said, and I will be. So be ready. So next thing you know, I get like 75 sponsors at $500 a piece. And next thing you know, I was executive of the year. They wanted to build a dome for us. everything was coming together. The owner of the league owned 865 Kentucky Fried Chicken franchises. He's a marketing guru. He's the one that created the sides. You know, macaroni and mashed potatoes and green beans.
Really?
He created it. That's the guy of the league that he's teaching me how to own a team. Next thing you know, I became the executive of the year. It was going great. But a billionaire out of Chicago, Dr. Sev Reineck, he's the 50th. He's in the top 50 richest people ever in the history of Chicago. Billionaire times over. Wants me to come over to Chicago and offer me, he wants me to be the VP of the league. He wants me to still own a team here. He'll give me, you know, a salary. He'll pay for my transportation. He'll pay for our referee fees. He'll pay for our venue rentals, you know, whatever it is. And then we're going to build you a dome. So I got these two very rich people wanting to build a dome out by Lake Michigan College, because where does Lake Michigan College play their basketball games? In a basement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, so the Andersons own the 51 acres out in front of when you pull into Lake Michigan, that they haven't ever sold it because of me to this day, because they believe just still that to this day that one day I'm going to build a multi-sports complex out there, and with no money, right? I have $1.47.
That, wow.
I'm almost speechless.
Yeah, I couldn't say that was not.
I'm not speechless because I'm still I'm baffled about one thing. Why have you not done it yet?
Well, so you know how God is, right? You know, I believe yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised. So today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I believe every day we can choose to be happy or sad. We can mad or glad or whatever you want to be. But I choose to be glad. I choose, Lord, use me today. Whatever direction it is that you need me to do, I'm going to give it my best, whether someone's looking at me or not. I'm going to give it everything I got. And my life is it's like a surrender. Like I'm not chasing money anymore. The money chases me. I know it sounds weird.
Not really.
But it's like I befriended a guy who was sponsoring our players to eat. Fed them steak, chicken, vegetables, milk, eggs, everything you need to play at the highest level, right? There was no funny junk food or anything. This is all I'm giving you. It was Jim Cramer from Shoes and Tim's 2 and Nardo's and Roma's and
all the
Woodfire Grill and all the stuff that he did. And, you know, he was a minister for 40 years. Just came from Hinsdale, came into the area. Next, he fell across one thing and another. And one day we just became friends, and he started sponsoring our team by feeding our players. And I thought, man, this is the greatest guy in the world, right? Well, we developed a relationship there, but we still didn't know each other like we know each other today. Because when, you know, as we speed up this process, and I closed the door when my brother died in 2016. I went to China one more time, and it was over in 2017. And I just kind of retired basketball out of my life. Like, what do I do next? And I ended up, I was working out at the Renaissance Athletic Club, right?
Yeah.
Working out, and I'm feeling good and wondering what the next thing it is that I'm going to do. And this lady comes over to me, she goes, hey, you know, they need a softball coach at Benton Harbor High School. And I know your girls just won the, you know, best travel ball league in the nation. You just won it all. And we know that you're a good person, and maybe you consider that. And I'm like, I think I will. I went over to Benton Harbor, right? Most people aren't going over to Benton Harbor. I mean, I'm just being true. They're not going over there to now maybe basketball, right? But not softball. Where Coach U, you know, they just went undefeated, and they took the pallets and they burnt all the pallets, and all the metal and all the stuff went right on the pitching, you know, for their bonfire. And there was no softball team there. And so I'm like, you know what? I want to take this challenge. So I raised $74,000, put a brand new field in, brand new dugouts, brand new stands, brand new uniforms. I started the I Glove You program, where you go buy a glove for this girl, come in and put a verse or a motivational and give it to the girl. And I want you to give it to her. And next thing, you know, the people said, well, you might have 10 or 11 girls, but when prom hits, you're not going to have a softball team. That season's over because they got to mess their hair, their nails, and they're for real. You know,
Right.
they take it to another level, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I knew that. I'm like, well,
Yeah, they do actually.
well, when I went to meet with the athletic director and they hired me, they're like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah. And then all that stuff happened afterwards. Well, we started a program called Together We Will. This means I love you in sign language.
Yeah.
This is the W for the win. And I took him to see Black Panther. Was it Black Panther in the Wakanda? You know, the W with the Wakanda is where I came up with the W. And I made a logo. It says Together We Will. And it was the coolest. It was the coolest thing that watched these girls light up. I had 64 girls. I'm not turning anybody away.
Yeah.
So not only did I make a varsity and JV team, I made a freshman team. And then after that, I made you know what? Just come as you are and we'll just have fun. And I was the only one. I coached it all.
Coach all three
From 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock at night. And I drove them home. And I rotated and drove them around. And they voted me for like man of the year, you know, made a difference award at Benton Harbor High School. Right.
Yeah.
Like, but I wasn't doing it for that. This was a challenge for me. This was such a beautiful thing. And I loved it. It was the greatest thing ever. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything other than I saw it making a difference. And there was a girl named Ashley Moss. Matter of fact, she was going to be here tonight. I was going to surprise you guys because I bring her to work and home. She started working at Tim's too for me because she's a teacher.
Yeah.
But before that, imagine she's a senior and she's like, Coach, where should I go to college? I said, Olivet.
Oh.
And that's where she graduated from.
Yeah.
We helped, you know, her get through it. We encourage her to get through it. She's resilient. She's a teacher at Flowers, you know, the Tri-County Head Start used to be Tri-County Head Start. And then she's going into the summer. She goes, Coach, I needed that. And I said, well, you know, oddly, you know, I need a line cook. And I know she goes, put me in, Coach, put me in. but I call her my daughter. If anybody comes in, they think she's my daughter because I've told everybody she is.
Yeah.
Because she is. We adopted her a long time ago in our hearts.
Which one is she?
Ashley Moss. She just started 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
but
okay.
You'll see her.
Yeah, I
here.
will. When I go back.
I was gonna bring her with me, but she was on the line, and we were packed. The place was packed. I'm like, oh, sorry. You know. But I love Benton Harbor, but it speeded up. You know, I'm going back and forth. But Jim Kramer, I got in a situation at St. Joe because, okay, let's go back. Benton Harbor was closing their doors. They were $18 million in debt.
Oh, yeah.
And they had told, they were like, they're thinking about closing the doors. And so School of Choice opened up and Benton Harbor accepted over 80 African-American. Bam. So you got all these black people waiting after school until 5 o'clock outside of the gym. And they're like, oh, what are we going to do now? I mean, we got to create something. We got to bring these kids out of, you know, get them something to do after school because they're either waiting for rides or what, you know, they didn't think it all the way through.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any of this. They just, Elijah Henney, you know, that was running the Boys and Girls Club. He goes, hey, man, but we heard the Benton Harbor is closing down and they let you go. And they did. But they let everybody go. All the help. I was the positive behavior intervention specialist in the school.
Yeah.
Along with the coach, you know. And they're like, they're cutting the program. So I ended up receiving that phone call saying they're going to open up a Boys and Girls Club in St. Joe High School for the first time ever. And they want you to be the site coordinator. I'm like, what? And so I took that challenge on and it was so fun, man. Oh, they said, if you could get 10 members by the end of the year. I had 86 members. I mean, they were packed in there. We had so much fun. I opened up cooking programs. It was the greatest time probably of my life.
Wow. Wow.
He's done a lot.
Man, I was just thinking that same thing.
When I surrendered, man, and money wasn't, I was just like, wherever you need me.
All right. On that note, you do top of the hour. Get ourselves back in order here. All right, guys. This is the Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast. We're at the top of the hour. We have Chris Glisson on tonight. And if you guys are watching on any of our platforms, whether it's X, Facebook, YouTube, any of those platforms that we're on, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and share the video as well. So it'll help the algorithm so we can get more positive feedback anytime, anywhere. All right, guys, we get back to the show. Joe's getting himself warmed up. Give him a second. And we are back.
We have community.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anton.
All right, guys, back to the show.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
So I actually
And that first hour, you just explain
half his life.
half your life all the way up to this point. I'm sure there's more more stuff that you can talk about. And luckily we have another hour to do
with
it.
details. But my question is, now I'm still kind of lost. You have two people. I know it's not all about the money and everything else, but you have two people fighting to build a dome for you in St. Joe, Ben Harbor, wherever you would want it, and you want to stay close to your family because you are a family man. How did they react after you said, no, I don't want to, I'm pretty much done with basketball? How did they react to that?
Well, they had promised me these things, right? And I went further. Like that was in when Dr. Sev said that we're going to start a nonprofit organization. Bill Clinton is going to kick off our, the dome, and he's part of our nonprofit organization, which was he's a surgeon, Dr. Severnick, and they take in a lot of letters like, I can't afford, a new heart, I can't, whatever. And then they read it through and then they choose it and they do it for free. And that's their nonprofit. Well, the biggest guy backing him up at the time was Bill Clinton, like the former president, Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Not like you mean the former president, I mean, that like what? And there were a lot of people that were coming together for this vision. It was going in the right direction until the same time my brother died, his brother died. That ran the Rochester Razor Sharks.
Wow.
It just we both kind of lost, like, that was fun.
Did you,
Yeah.
I hate to say it like this, but did you lose faith or hope in the basketball after your brother passed away? Because that was something that he brought you in?
No, I never lost faith in that, especially what the basketball, you can play with a whole bunch of Chinese and Japanese and Iraqis, I mean, and we've been all over the world, but even if they can't speak, basketball speaks for itself.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when you go with 5 people on a court and they're all gelling and they're working together, it's like they're the best friends in the world and nobody can speak to each other, right? At that time, there was no translator buds or anything like that we have now, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a small fraternity. Meeting LeBron James, Steve Kerr, his parents were missionaries, died on the field.
Yeah.
Friends with my brother who became, we went to the NBA Summer League and I was just there for my wife's. We were like getting away for a little, anniversary. And next thing I'm meeting these, guys on accident.
Wait a minute. You took your wife to an NBA summer retreat, and that's
Summer League,
and that is just a getaway.
Oops, sorry, honey. You don't mind if we go over to the Summer League, do you?
I think, wait a minute.
Oh, look, honey, it's a summer league.
It's like, thank God it's all over and you can just get back into like doing what you did. Like, what, man, I'm so glad. Oh, and by the way, can we like,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Uber over?
Oh.
What, you ready?
Yeah.
So listen to the story, guys. Listen to the story. So imagine, I'm in a car with my wife in an Uber going to the NBA Summer League. And the lady goes, oh, so what do you do for a living? And my wife goes, are you sure you want this long answer? No. I said, no. I said, I own a professional basketball team. She goes, you did, because, that was when it was over. And I said, I got one more thing planned. We're going to China or whatever. And I have a few players I really wanted to bring over there to give them an opportunity. And she goes, oh my God, my husband was a professional basketball player, and matter of fact, he could probably even get you passes and get you in the right spot. Now, this is how it really went down. This is how I met Keith Smart. This is how I met, so imagine he pulls up and she's a principal of a school, which she loves my wife, right? She's a teacher. So they're talking too. So we pull up and the guy comes over, he goes, follow us. And he walks us right up to the door.
we get like these cool passes. He goes, follow me, walks us right into the arena, right on the floor, and sits us down. I'm like, I don't even know who the guy is. I don't know his first name. I don't know anything. He goes, have a seat right here. He goes, it's all on me. Anything they want. Next to us was is it Lou, the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers kids, and they're taking selfies with me. To the left is the Sacramento Kings daughter who sang the national anthem before the LA Lakers, the Balls, right?
Yeah.
Lonzo, it was the first game. And I'm sitting next to the Ball family. This is the honest God's truth. I'm sitting here going, who are they? And here comes Rod Baker. Now, Baker was the coach of the Rochester Razor Sharks, right?
Yeah.
That we played. And then he got to be the assistant coach of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Really?
And that year, Fultz was the number 1 pick, he was right in front of me, right here. And Baker was walking by and he dabs Fultz up and he pushes Fultz out of the way and steps through the chairs. Glisson. So now everybody's like, oh man, he's somebody, I got flip-flops and a flower shirt on. I'm like, honest to God, that's how it went down. And so like after that first game, now the summer league games, it's the one game and the next game. Of course, the Lakers that year, they were studded out of rookies, I can't think of the guys' names right now, but they were stacked. And then that next game was like Portland, and Portland was the one that won the whole dang thing of the summer league, but no one's paying attention to Portland. And I wasn't, I'm just here, with my wife. We're
on a vacation.
Man, I love everybody. So next thing you know, they after the games, they make everybody empty out, and then they bring in the next game, right? So they're making the Cleveland Cavaliers Suns and the Sacramento Kings get up, and we went to get up. They're like, no, you get to stay. So we watched 3 games in a row. We were like, woo. We had communion a little bit. No. I'm like, wow, he said, keep them coming, keep them coming. No, 3, all these guys, man, keep them.
You'll get one.
But we ended up just having a blast. And next thing you know, Steve Kerr walks up right when Baker's going, Glisson, right? So Steve Kerr goes, wait, Glisson, Marty Glisson was. And that's how Steve Kerr and I, connected. But just one thing in the fraternity of basketball, right? It's the cousin, the brother, aunt, uncles, blah, blah, blah. So when I signed someone, overseas, and the nephew of Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas played for me, Kevin Durant's brother played for me,
Really?
KD, we get on a big screen, and I'd be at like Morton Elementary, right? I would go all around everywhere, and Katie would go, he'd get on, and he'd give like a little blurb, and he goes, get their sizes, Chris, it's on me, and we get him Katie's. I must have gave away, I don't know, 10,000 shoes. It was me, it was him, through his nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
His brother was Dixon. Now, what happened was they, when they're younger and the mother brings people in, well, he brought him in and from a baby boy and raised him like their own. He's 6'9", and his brother was taller than him in the pictures.
Yeah.
That was when I first found out that KD was really 7 foot. And everywhere you read, it's 6'9", because back then he didn't want it. 7-footers were going to be under the basket. He wanted to be outside. He was the one that kind of started that, and even had the ability to do that. But anyway, can you imagine, like, meeting all these special people and then bringing it all in to touch people's lives? Because that's really what it did.
Yep.
And he's very humble about all this.
How else
that
can
is
I be?
Awesome. Actually, that is awesome to see someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with all the stuff that's going on in your life, I mean, all these people that you're running into, getting to meet, I mean, these guys are top-notch players, coaches, all kinds of things. And you're getting to meet all these people just because you had a passion.
Just a thought.
Just thought, yeah. Just the idea.
$1.47.
$1.47.
Hi, my name is Chris Glisson. I'm a professional basketball. Well, here's fun.
$1.47.
Here's funny for you. So I go to the mayor of town because I was always told by our owners of the leagues, like, hey, go in and you want to make sure they know before you even let people know, right? People need to be in the know, because if you do something without getting the major people that are running the city, if they don't know, they are embarrassed and they'll poo-hoo it. They're like, you need to get Fred Upton on board, you need to have John Pros on board, you need to have Anderson, Marones and the Schultz, and you need, like, they were naming all these names, and I'm like, well, one at a time, here I go, and I'd go out there and I had so many great supporters, but I found out that I wasn't the only owner of a professional basketball team in St. Joe, Michigan.
Really?
You know who it was? Aubrey McClinton. He was the owner at that time of the Seattle Supersonics that ended up being the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
It was Aubrey McClinton that was the owner and married an Upton.
Yeah.
And lived out there. And when I was at the yacht club, which I was a part of, because when we started that subdivision, we were the third house built in there. Now it's all packed up with the Jack Nicklaus signature golf course while I was a teacher on an Indian reservation. Isn't that great? Imagine coming home going, what? My house value shot out and say, God's like, you worried? What? Wow. And I could have been like, working my tail off and not even coming close to the money that we had made, from appreciation and stuff.
But the reason I say you're humble about everything is because you could tell the story, and it's like it was just yesterday, and you have so much passion, like you were saying, you have so much passion for it, and it's an awesome feeling that I actually thriving to do other things in my life. It's just a couple of roadblocks, but I can still do it if I have other ways to figure out how to do them. And especially with this, I have passion for, and I'm still trying to achieve it, but you're making it sound like it's that easy, and I can do it.
It is. I mean, it kind of is. I mean,
I can do it.
You make it as easy as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And if you doubt yourself,
I don't doubt it.
if you doubt yourself, that's when the negative thoughts come in. The negative attitude to turn from negative thoughts turn to negative attitudes, and then it's all downhill from there.
I'm the worst business owner ever. I'm the worst, because aren't we supposed to have a business plan and work it out? And this is what this is, and this is a road plan, and this. My wife, right? This is my wife. She's like, "Where's your business plan?" I'm like, what do you mean? I'm working it right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I know, but are you going to start this in 3 years from now? See, what happens is, while you're waiting 3 years to do it, someone else is going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, or they're going to come up with a cool idea and they're going to take off with it. And now you're trying to reel, and you're trying. If you would have done it and made the mistakes, don't be afraid of whatever that it is that you run into.
Yeah.
It's about relationships.
I've had three businesses. I told when I was sitting at a bar having dinner or having a drink, and I told 3 different people 3 types of businesses in St. Joe. Now there's one, they'd done it. It made them good money for the first 2 or 3 years while it was open, or it's still in process and they're still making money. I told 3 different businesses. I kept the 4th one to myself.
Yep, you might want to be quiet. That
Get
one.
those NDA signs.
Yeah.
I have like 2 more, but it's just amazing what you have done. So fast track a little bit. How did you get Tim's 2?
So back to Jim Kramer and my ADHD self. No, we call this AD. This is ADHD. Back to ADD, Chris Glisson.
Back to you, Chris.
So Jim Kramer, right? Like funny guy. He's 71 years old now. He's
71. I thought he was younger than that.
To outwork him, no one's gonna do it. You can't do it. He does so many wonderful things that he'll never tell anybody. I usually am the one telling everybody that what he does, because he would never. But I get to see it in action. Whether it's buying a house for an employee that that have the opportunity to buy that house and give them that ownership that they never had. I could go on and on, but he called me when there was a young man, and I'm just going to touch base on this because I don't want to bring back the airplane of all the luggage I asked God to take away. But thank you, Lord. But there's a young man who fell in love with my daughter. She was 16 years old. It was her first boyfriend ever. I know their family. I'm cool with their family. Matter of fact, I gave him a van to drive down Atlanta in an AU program, like donated it to him, like I really just can't believe it happened. But this young man made a mistake. They had a relationship and they had a little, oh no. And which is, hey, it is their, like even as a father, you want to protect and all this stuff. I'm past that. I'm at the school. I'm a boys and girls, club site coordinator, and he shared a video of them.
Really?
Wow.
And as a father, I still have to draw the line. Like, I'm a professional. I'm going to get some help here for people. I'm going to get, my daughter broke up with this young man who was almost 8. He was 19 years, almost 19 years old. He was just, in a bad way. The year before, he got kicked out of school for beating up the principal's son, and the NAACP got involved to get him back and for him to finish at St. Joe, which was, what? I believe everybody deserves second chances, whatever. They hook up. He made a mistake. She did too. And he came to my room, which he never did at the Boys and Girls Club. We got 86 kids, and he's like, "Miss Glisson, we need tout. Are you good, man?" "No, I'm not good." "My daughter said you said I'm a player, and you don't want her with me." I'm like, "Look, no. She first of all, she's her own person, and I don't want to relive high school again." I said, "Why don't you just do this, man? She's already moved you along. Go and enjoy your senior year. That's it." Then it led into, the video, the this and the that, and next thing you know, I'm like, "I'll tell you what, man, let's go talk to her." Because he says she was going to spread the video. No.
And I'm sure you knew better than that, right?
So we walked down in the middle of the cafeteria. It's after school, right? I think the Hero Palladium said that it was during school. By the way, no one's ever heard this story. I just want to let you know that. Now, I mean, when I say nobody, I mean there's no video. Like Pat Moody wants to cover, like everybody want to cover it. The Hero Palladium want to cover it. I never did it. My daughter's in a really good way right now with the Lord, and this is be a platform for her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And she knows that it put me in a weird position, but I'd do it again.
It did.
I would do it again, not the way it happened. I would fight for her, just like I did. But that young man, when I brought my daughter over, I said, were you going to spread a video about him? Why are you doing that? She's like, "What?" He goes, no, Miss Glisson, see, that's not what went down. That was a rumor. Well, it was a rumor you started about 5 minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
But just like I'm talking now is how I talk. Like, I talk with a purpose. I'm not going to lose my cool very often. If I do, I put I put Jesus over here for a second, right? And that's when we get in trouble. But the young man, after I thought was a good conversation going in the right direction, because I'm trying to counsel both of them, right? Like, I'm trying to, like, let's end this. We're in a small little school, and we have to survive this thing together. You're going to be gone, and she's going to still be able to go to school here, But he said something to me that any father in the world, I do have the sex video, and I did tell her to choke on it and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus was put to the side for a second, and I took my hand, I palmed his face, I pushed it back, and then I grabbed him out like this, and he tries to hit me. And then he goes, "You're awful soft to be as big as you are, just like your daughter." And I pushed him down on the table, and I brought him back up, and I started praying. That's it. We have that on video, right?
Yeah.
strangulation, less than murder, 10 years in prison. He said that I picked him up by his neck, threw him on a table, and his lights were going on. And I have this all in video because the private investigator, because I got to see it all. And because we're the defense, right? And they didn't hire a lawyer because it happened at the school. It kept pressing forward.
Mhm.
And I'm seeing all this stuff, seeing these lies, right? Well, on pretrial, we walk in on pretrial, and he lies 18 times on the stand.
Wow.
Now, because of that, the lawyer didn't want me to speak at all. So when we went to go to trial, COVID hit, and all the courthouses in America shut down.
Right.
And we could not go in on the day. And I just wanted it over with, right? I didn't want anybody to get in trouble. I wasn't going to press any charges. I didn't press charges. I just wanted it to be away because my daughter and right? And so he ended up, he was going to be in trouble. And so the prosecutor, a few weeks right before the actual trial, came in and said, we want to put a motion in, and Mr. Glisson the defense cannot bring in anything before or after the event, just the 14.2 seconds of the scuffle. And after hearing everything, the judge ruled in our favor, and that we could bring it all in. And when he said all, the word all, she appealed the decision, and it went into appellate court for almost 2.5, 3 years. And during this time, I can't get a job because I'm a strangulation, less than murder, right? 10 years in prison. The same guy you just heard, I'm still the same guy.
Yeah.
God used me, whether I'm in the valley or I'm on the mountain. I said, I'm still yours. I'm here. What do I got? So going through that, they finally came up with a plea for the first time ever. They never gave me anything other than 10 years. I mean, they were really going to go down. They were going to smack me down. And because the truth was out, people were starting to talk. Things were changing. My daughter was taking her finals on the time that they wanted to finally have a trial. And that means that she would have had to miss her finals along with everybody that was going to be a witness. And I said, you know what? I'll take the plea. And I went to jail for 23 days. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be 30, but good time, right? Yeah. So I go in there and people are like, you're legit. No, I don't want to be legit, man. They call me coach in there because when I got in there, God used me in a way, guy 2 down from me, we all stayed in the same room together. It was a moment in time that God used me to be able to talk life into them. And again, JOY, putting Jesus first and others before yourself.
I didn't think you were going to talk about it.
But when I came out, Jim Kramer goes, it's time to let's go. And we started Airbnbs. Yeah. And I'm the manager of his properties. We had 5 of them. All of it, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, swimming pool, jacuzzi. We're just cranking it. Having the best time ever. Joyful times. And to this day, we still do the same thing. Hey, what do you think about owning a restaurant? What? Well, my son he's to the end of doing the sauces, and he wants to live his life, and my daughter, she's getting operations on her feet all the time. I mean, she needs to do something different. And what about you and Sarah owning a restaurant? I'm like, man, I don't know anything about what are you talking about? Right. But I know people and I know business. And I put those things together and we went to running. And if it's not a ministry, it's not for me. If I'm not pushing people towards the prize, right, then I want to do something different. And when I went in there, it was just amazing, and the people we started with are the people we're with today. It's such a solid group of people, and I want to help them in so many different ways. And so does Jim. Oh yeah. And so Sarah and I agreed to purchase it, and we've been doing it since March of 2024. I brought in a new POS system and just changed the way the place was being run. Not that there, it runs itself based. It's great food,
Yeah.
511 Pleasant Street. No, that's kidding. No, I just play it. But it's like Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, you got to get some. That's for you. Those are all for you.
They're all the same.
Oh, okay.
Crab ragoons, by the way, that's from Tim's too. Crab
Yeah.
ragoons with real crab. That is pork pot stickers, and then the vegetable spring rolls dipped in
Yeah.
a sweet chili sauce that you're gonna die. 511 Pleasant Street.
Good plug.
Nah, I just play.
But yeah, I didn't think I was gonna bring it. I said, hey, if you really want to, you could at least bring
Yeah.
something to talk about your restaurant. But so it's you and Jim that co-own it, or is
Yeah,
it?
Jim is gonna own it until I pay it off, and that'll probably be for the rest of my life.
I don't know. You
No.
always have something new out there.
No. It's really we on paper, we don't do a lot of things on paper. We do a lot of things. I mean, he's a lot like me. I'm a bad businessman. Yeah, I'm just bad. But I've always said this: if I can make more money for James Kramer, so that we could keep doing what we're doing, I'd do it for the rest of my life, and I would. And he knows it.
Yeah.
Is he trying to get out of the business a little bit more, a little bit here
He's
and there?
done. Yeah.
Yeah, he's because all the stuff that he's done in his life, you could see everybody in town actually wanted me to ask this. They could see that he's slowly getting out of everything that he's done in
Yeah, he is.
the restaurant atmosphere of his life.
Yes, he's to that point in his life, and he deserves it, right?
Yeah.
Hell
He's-
yeah.
He's worked
Man's
hard.
done a
and-
lot of the around here in the area under himself and
Under that umbrella
self-made.
that he
Yeah.
has for all his businesses.
Yeah.
Well,
and-
and giving people an opportunity that might not have had an opportunity, and then believing in them, and then believing in him, and then next
Yep.
thing you know, you got a great
Like
relationship.
shoes
going.
as well, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shoes,
I mean,
aromas.
fantastic. When he sold
Yeah.
shoes to, Nikki,
Nikki.
Yeah.
Chad,
Uh-huh.
and Fernando, here he is. Like he's setting people up because
For-
God has blessed him. He's like, this isn't our money, this is his money.
Yep.
And so he's that guy. I mean, I've seen it. He'd be mad at me. I'm telling him, sorry, man. No, love you, man. I'm with him every day, like
Yeah.
any day, like all the way up. I was doing landscaping at one of the Airbnbs, cleaning it all up and big old tarps full of stuff, and then going over to Harbor Country Mission and picking up a table for the other. That's what we do every day. And then, oh, by the way, I got to be at Tim's too at 4:00.
They used to come in at Ace all the time and start getting stuff for the Airbnbs and stuff
All
like
the
that. So
time.
yeah.
We're always doing something
Yep.
funny, goofy, whatever, and we find ourselves in the craziest situations. But it's kind of like that's who we are, and I just love the guy, and I love their family, and they love our family. Both of my daughters' first job, one was at Shoes and the other was at Tim's too. It's like it's just a cool thing. We've come to know each other and align. Now, telling that story, my lawyer I was not supposed to tell the story of any of that forever, up until the final. And even if the families that were involved, and I just want everybody to know, I forgive everybody. I love everybody. I don't want any unforgiveness in my heart. They might not forgive me, but that's okay. One day when we all sit down, and oddly enough, I have all the proof, to
think-
put that to bed.
I think my daughter was in school when that happened. Yeah. And I read about it and stuff like that. Honestly, I didn't think you were going to talk about it on the show at all.
I've heard bits and
Yeah.
pieces of it, and I didn't get the full details, but I'm glad you cleared that air because that is I don't know, it's almost groundbreaking that you can forgive that part of your life. And we started off in the beginning of this podcast, joy,
It's what it's all
you know,
about.
and that means a lot right there, man. I tell you what, that's really powerful.
My thing is, I know you probably do not care, but as the atmosphere of a small freaking town that is St. Joe, Benton Harbor, Niles, all these small towns, and what you have done and what you have done before all that stuff happened, did that ruin your good name that you do have and you still have to this day?
Hi, my name is Chris Glisson. I have a professional basketball team. What's the name of it? I don't know. No, it's the way it is. It's my name is nothing compared to his, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for God, this guy wouldn't be around. Thank God he saved a wretch like me. I always say, Guys, don't look at me. I'm not Jesus. Don't get it twisted. I'm sorry. I don't claim to have one church. I believe we are the church. At least that's what it says in the word. And I just do my best. I'm not better than anybody else. Joe, look, we all die right now. Bam, nuclear, right? And you're in the very front. And there's a big old gate, pearly gates, right, with golden streets. That's what it says in the Bible. And you're standing there. Would you do me a favor if you see me back there? Say, see that bald-headed guy, man? Would you please give him a chance? I mean, that guy was bad. That Chris Glisson guy.
I always say,
just give him a chance, would you?
I always say I might live to be 110, and people always look at me. So why are you going to do that? I said only the good die young.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I also say I'm always going to pass the pearly gates because I do confess my sins. I do know what I did wrong, and I do my penance. I do everything that I need to do, and I'm always going to be at the front line.
Isn't it great though? We're all just trying to do the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
We can't worry about yesterday, and tomorrow's not promised. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Look at your neighbor. Say, this isn't one. I'll never forget it. I'll leave you with. I'll. I know we got. Just stop me whenever, but I'm gonna leave you with this. Maybe not leave you. I might be here all night. No, I'm just kidding. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, friends. An addition friend are you guys, right? You like we see each other, right?
Yeah.
Have I ever been to your house?
No.
Do we hang out?
No.
You're my addition friend.
I
Like when I see you, we're cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I get joy in my heart seeing you. You enjoy our food, our restaurant, but also just the relationship, the fellowship, right? Just the hello.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Have you ever seen me and I'm looking like this?
Actually, no, I haven't.
No.
I had to think about it. No.
Because why would I look like that if I'm living for him and I can't worry about yesterday, today, the second before. I'm like living in it right now. And when I see you, you're an addition friend.
Mm-hmm.
You're an addition friend, right? And then you have this subtraction friend. The subtraction friend is the person that is like, man, the weather sucked today, didn't it? And oh man, did you see what was on the news? See what Trump said? Oh man, don't even get me started on that. And did you know that it's like every second and breath out of their body but you still, might have been somebody you've been with for a long time, right? But known for all your life. It might be a family member, like you just can't get away. And by the time you leave, you're like this, man. You're like, man, what? Like it's like, can I go take a nap or something? It's like, what is wrong with these people? And sometimes, we're caught, with a lot of subtraction people in our life. And let me tell you this, my glasses, what in the world? So sometimes what happens is, we spend a lot of time with them. And now there's a thing called multiplication friend. We're kind of doing that now, right? We're multiplying. We're kind of getting the word out. Like, who is Chris Glisson? Who are you guys? Like, what? Let's come together. Oh, better yet, did I tell you the story about that? Let me introduce you to this person, and let me introduce you to this person. Oh, this person will help you out and get you a sponsor for your show. Oh, and this one, that's multiplication friends. People that you might not know that well, but just seem to every time you meet, you meet someone else, and you start, building a really solid, group around you.
I guess how you're saying like that, yes, that's how actually we are or especially him, because half the time I know when I book people, I know
He already knows.
I already know him.
Well, sometimes you don't, but
yeah, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Some remotely way I know them, and some remotely way he's just introducing them for the first time. So for me, introducing them to him and him reacting and saying, "Oh my god, oh wow," like today,
putting two together. I mean,
and it's awesome
the
feeling,
dots, so to speak. So in all reality, it's a good thing for me just to be able to meet different people, open my eyes and listen to their story. And it's, I'm glad to have him right here because he's done a lot for this show.
Oh,
and it means a lot to me because if it were up to me, I wouldn't have probably reach out to you and talk to you. We would be having this conversation,
right?
So
I don't think you would have this.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
For sure, a multiplication friend.
Yeah,
right? Somebody that helps and just opens the doors of meeting new people.
And we all need that in our lives. So just to have that type of person that has my back at all times, that's a blessing. And then we bring in Scott into the fold. He does a lot of work behind the scenes that nobody knows about.
Right.
And seeing our beautiful
Shit, does
faces
he?
on the cameras and putting that all together. I mean, appreciate Scott so much.
Do I have Booker in my nose? No, sorry.
I'm
But
not giving you that yes.
it does. I mean, it does. It goes a long way. And I'm so glad to be in this position where I have people that help me out, because I could have done this by myself. And I was so headstrong in saying that, man, I can do this by myself. No way I can be able to do this. And thank you guys, both of you.
It's a beautiful thing, because when you have multiplication friends, but when you get the division friend, this is a division friend could be somebody that maybe is your day oneer, right? This is the one that you grew up with. It could be a cousin, a brother, sister,
Yeah.
an uncle, whatever it is. But they want you to themselves. They don't want you to have friends. They don't want you to be that they just want you to come home and be with them. Or, for instance, the story goes, we're in California. My brother is helping give away coats and gloves, and believe it or not, California gets cold too, right?
Yeah, they do. It does.
And then in inner city, the kids need it. And so my brother's like, hey, let's get some people together. And there was this guy that was supposed to go, and whoever was giving, or whoever was going to this event, they were going to be blessed, but we didn't know why or how. We just felt blessed being, right? Jesus first, others for yourself, and you're giving. The gift is in the giving, right? And I'm like, this is great. I'm going to do this. And I called these two guys. They're supposed to go with me, and they didn't. So we get there and we're giving away all this stuff. And that day, all volunteers got $10,000.
Oh, really? Wow.
The two guys that should have gone really needed that $10,000.
Yeah.
I needed that 10,000, but they really needed that $10,000. And because of what happened the day before, the guy heard him talking to me, and he's like, man, you don't want to go to that thing. We're going to go fishing. Come on, man. I'm your day one. Like, man, you told me that it was going to be this weekend. We could do it. Yeah, but I'm supposed to give away these, coats and gloves. Man, let those charity people do their thing. This is what he said to him. And, they smoked a little weed and drank a little bit, and then got a little hangover, and then you can't wake up. And then the next day they didn't even go fishing. Division friend.
Yeah.
It's that one that keeps you from what God is about ready to do for you. And instead you just keep doing the same things. You talk about obstacles being put in your way in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. It says, if you speak it in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, the mountain will move. That mountain is a vice. It's an obstacle. It's like, you think, I can't do it. Of course you can't. But if you trust in God with all thine heart and lean not to thy understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, he shall direct your path. Watch what happens. The doors start opening, and you're like, whoa. Sometimes they're opening to people that want the worst for you, right? They hate you, but so what? You're going to get hated anyway. People are going to love you. People are going to hate you.
Love me, hate me, you'll never forget me.
If Jesus could carry the cross, I could carry a bad day. If somebody's coming at me wrong, or they're spreading a rumor about me, that's okay, because I got too much going this way for me to come back this way. But I don't mind sitting down and chilling and talking and having fellowship and sharing my life, because I'm a living faith bomb. I am telling you, I live on faith, not by sight. And I always have. And when we talk about money and owning a restaurant, and the only thing I can think of is, what can I do to get great employees and people that really deserve it? So what do? I go over to Mosaic, and I became the Jobs for life coach and teacher. And I did it for 5 graduations of people. And most of the people are working at Mosaic right now that were part of my classes.
Yeah.
And just in this little 2 hour, imagine being with me for 2 hours a day for 2 weeks. You'd go take a nap. No.
I think I'd laugh my ass off.
But it's just fun, and I want you guys to know, and everybody listening, that, you know what, if God can do that for me, he can do it for you and anybody else. You just lay it, just really but you got to do 2 things. You got to get rid of your subtraction and your division friends. And it's okay. Let God handle it. And you're like, man, I don't want to get rid of my friends. Say, well, you know what? Are you going to have that guy? Hey, man, you know how my wife is, man. Can I, sleep on your couch and can I borrow $20? Like, what?
It's okay.
I mean, here's $20. Here's a guy. I'm in there with my wife, right? And now I'm out here with you. Like what? And I spend hours, giving counsel. Next thing you know, the dude is doing the same thing. 2 weeks later, like, man, you know how she is. Like, what? He's a division friend. You're telling him what to do, and he goes and does something else. When are you going to stop doing that? And so that you can focus on the people that are really trying to make a difference, right? Yeah. And it's okay to leave them where they are, because they will meet who they need to meet where they are. When their knees are on the ground and they're drawing nigh to God, God will draw nigh to them. Until then, they're going to be right where they are. That doesn't make me any better than them, because in the Bible it says the first will be last and the last will be first. There's no order. I'm not looking to win the prize. I'm just looking to win across, right, the pearly gates and on the streets of gold. I believe my family's going to be up there. The doors are going to open up, and every single person that you mention to God about, and you might not even know that you're even changing their life, because it's God that's all in charge of it anyway. Imagine them all dying before me, standing there going, when the doors open and my mom and dad are sitting there, you say, good job. What? I'm in. Church on the move.
There you go. Man, it's cooking today, boy. I tell you what. He is cooking today. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this. This is a very
you're welcome.
And you say you weren't an inspirational speaker. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
So what is your next agenda in your life?
Man, I've been asking God for that. No,
Another basketball
Lord, man,
team.
Tim's too. That's it. No.
That's what your wife wants, probably.
It's funny. Tim's too is such a special place, and the people that are there, it is a full out ministry. I love them all. We've helped house. We're getting people in line to own their own places. So our next little thing, I believe, is that we're helping them get into their homes that they're going to live in, and take the pride of ownership and help them get there. With the $20,000 grant fund that's out there for first-time home buyers, and the things that you learn by meeting new people. Jobs for life. Here I'm a teacher and I'm bringing in these bankers, and the bankers are like, "Oh, did you know we can give $20,000 out to first-time home buyers?" I'm like, "I've had a couple houses, but can I have 20,000?" That kind of thing. To find out that, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity for these wonderful people, hardworking, obstacles in their way like you would not believe, right? Whether it's transportation or spouses or whatever in their life is in their way, that they think there's nowhere they can go, and they get the one little glimpse of hope that there's a possibility that they can achieve their goals and their dreams. And I'm just placed there, to watch it all happen.
Interesting.
Man.
I have so many ideas. I had so many ideas that I would love to do. I just don't have the goal, or I have the goal.
Motivation.
I have the motivation. Someone just pushed me to go forward. Just with
you need somebody inspiration then.
Yeah, I need inspiration.
Want me to push you?
Not hard. Not hard.
You gave me some pushes, man. I think you deserve a couple from me.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, just saying, man.
Yeah. So my other questions are pretty much about Tim's too a little bit. So when you did get it, were you thinking, I really don't want this. I want to do something else. What is there anything else you wanted to do before?
I knew when it all went down. This is funny. I hope Jim's listening to this. He says, "Hey, we're going to meet with the Toast representative today," and I didn't hear him right. I thought he said we're going to have toast or something. Like I honestly,
That makes sense. I would have said the same thing.
I don't know anything about any of this stuff, right? And so when we got there, there's the Toast representative for POS system, and then there's his wife and his bookkeeper and his daughter and myself. We're all sitting around a table, and they're looking at me like I'm supposed to negotiate something, and not just for us, but for shoes, for Nancy's, for Nardo's. Like I'm there to represent and now, so I'm learning on the fly, like what I'm supposed to know. I'm looking at numbers because numbers is what I'm all about. And so I'd ask, what are the numbers of this and compared to this? And then how does this, and then I just started rolling. Then I started asking questions at the table. Next thing you know, I'm putting a deal together for all the restaurants. And so when they brought the POS system in, I'm the one that's supposed to know how the PO system works. Like, I don't know anything about POS. So I went in and the next thing you know, I'm learning how the POS system works. And I'm like the go-to guy to be able to fix this and fix that, you know, and hey, you know, call this customer number or call me, you know, it was so cool, you know, to be involved in that. Next thing you know, I'm like, this is kind of cool. But when the spiritual eyes are open, you know, when you give it all to God and you're like, you know, you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. If it ended today, I'm not kidding you. And with everybody listening, if everything ended today, everything I've said, just all ended today, I know tomorrow is coming. Maybe not. But I know today, the day that I'm in right now, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to rejoice in it too.
Yeah.
See, that's how I live my life. I live my life day by day because you never know what's going to happen. You don't. I can't predict the future. Like someone asked me, "What are you doing this weekend?" I don't know.
Yeah, nothing's promised to
I went,
anyone.
Nothing is happening until that I wake up or the night before. I might think, okay, I want to go do this tomorrow, but I don't plan my weekend out anymore. Like Jimmy's band's playing on Saturday. He tagged me in it in Facebook and went, oh, I could do that, or I could go do this, I could do that. I mean, there's other plans out there for my life, but I don't just plan on doing one thing. Right. It's just how I live my life because that's what my grandfather taught me to do before he passed away. Live your life to the fullest. Never have any remorse. Don't have any regret. Don't do anything that you don't want to be done because you never know what's going to be your last.
You never know. If you were to write down on a piece of paper every day, it's something I used to do a long time ago. I don't do it now, but everything you want in like 5 categories, whether it's financial, spiritual, health wise, you know, write down like what you really want to achieve every day. Not just once. Don't put it up on your mirror. I mean, literally write it down, rip up that, write it again until it all comes true. And I heard that from a guy named Grant Cardone. He was a car guy, you know, that trainer guy. And now he does real estate. You see him online, Grant Cardone, really, really fascinating guy. But I heard that one time, like, oh, you know, I'll give it a shot. And I started writing down, like, I want to be a high school football coach. I want to spend more time with my daughters. I want to, you know, I want to go to church, you know, and fellowship with believers, you know, more. And I want to read the Bible every day. And I, as I wrote that, every single one of them came true. I became a high school coach at Coloma. First year we went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That I was the quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back coach. I only did it for 1 year. I brought a team that was 0-9 to first 8-1. And matter of fact, their last winning season was the year I graduated up to that point. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It was just a bad run, you know, but I just happened to, you know, be at the right place, right time. But I wrote it down and I became it.
Have you ever had a bad season?
What do you mean?
Because you took the basketball team that you created to the championship game, lost by 3.
Right.
You took a
team in Knoxville
that was lost by 2.
Brought it to the
brought it to the finals.
Yeah.
The
softball team.
Not the softball team, that too. Yeah.
The softball
9-9. First time in history. I didn't even talk about that. And 9 over the fence home runs. And 2 girls got signed scholarships, play ball. One being Ashley Moss, my daughter.
Yeah.
Anybody has a problem with that? That's
and not only that, the reservation team. The reservation team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And and that team. Have you ever had a bad season coaching? You haven't noticed that record?
You know what? You know what?
You might have not won the championship, but you made the
second year of Benton Harbor. I just lost mostly seniors that were gone now, and I was training them powerlifting and all that stuff with the girls leading into the season, and we had a lot of distractions, you know, a lot of things going on that was taken away, from their focus. And I would have 5 girls at my practice sometimes, right? And those 5 girls, I gave it everything they had, whether there was a whole bunch or a little. And we had a bad we started off, in practices wrong, and I knew it and I felt it, and I had to figure out how can I bring them back. And we started doing fun things. It had nothing to do with the softball. It was more
Team
team building,
yeah.
programs and little things that I was coming up with. And these kids were buying in, but I told them, I said, we might not win every game. I don't want to speak that over you, but we haven't played since we were 6 years old, every single, week of the year, getting batting practices. We haven't had that. You started last week and you put the glove on the wrong hand. You know what I'm saying? I said, but when we make a great play, we win. Together we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we catch a ball in the outfield, we win. We're not looking at a score, a win or loss. We're talking about a play, because yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised. For every play, if you make a mistake, isn't that something that it could be forgiven, especially from us, your teammates, your coach? It could be forgiven just like God forgives us for our sins. I'm telling you right now that you make an error, get over it, and we'll all say, next. And we'd go, next. And I changed their attitude towards each other. It's like, look, we're all going to make mistakes in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't bring your personal problems. We have our own personal problems and our own family on this field. Let this be your out and escape from whatever you're going through. And trust me when I say there was a lot going on in their lives that makes me almost tear up right now to this day. And I took those girls like they were my own. And we lost almost every game. But I promise you, there were games where, just like in the Indian reservation where I told you all the Indians came out and we lost, we were, honestly, I think we were playing Marshall. We were getting killed 30-0 first. I mean, they were rubbing it in our face. They weren't walking off bases in the inning or not. They just wanted to crush us down to the ground. And my little Ashley Moss that I talk about, my daughter who works at Tim's too, 5'11", Pleasant Street. She dove in the fence. Her feet went under the backstop. Right, she's my catcher. She went in and caught the ball for the third out. Standing ovation, parents from the other side, because there was no parents. For Benton Harbor side, right? It was all the other side that was there supporting their kids that they've been supporting since they were a little kid. And after the game, they came over to our girls. There were parents crying, saying that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. You guys were knocked down in the dirt. You were getting beat. Our coach, I'm so mad at our coach. They're getting mad at their coach. And she goes, and you never gave up. And it was like that. My girls, they celebrated the out. They celebrated the play. They got over their errors to know next we have a chance.
I have actually almost the same kind of story about my stepdaughter. The funny thing is, she played softball, pitching machine, all season long. Couldn't hit the ball. Couldn't hit. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do anything. Like you're saying, had the worst season of her life. And we kept on playing the same 5 teams at Eaton Park and everything else. And finally, there's 2 teams warming up that knew that she can't hit. She's going to strike out. She finally hit the ball. Hit it out into left field for a little bit. Got on base. Everybody's cheering. The teams that are warming up for the next game, they're cheering. She finally made it home because they got hit and she didn't know what to do. So she's just running because she's never made them on base before in her life. So she's running and the whole team, everybody that was on the both sides came down out on home plate, congratulated her. I mean, it was the best experience. She cried. Everybody cried.
That's so great.
The teams from the
That's what it's all about.
the teams from the other were warming up, congratulate her after the game and tell her, see, you could finally hit. I'm so proud of you. And after that, she never played, but
I know, but she'll never forget that moment.
Yeah.
And neither will everybody else.
yeah,
in that
she
whole
got
place.
the game ball and everything else for that.
It's
yeah.
those moments, like
So I understand what you're saying.
if it's not about that, then what is it about? It's not about winning and losing or on a score, even though I love to win, right? I love to win.
I did too.
But guess what? If we didn't, great play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. It's the encouragement. I call it the Barnabases in the world, the encourager, the one that, is always lifting you up, the addition and multiplication friends.
Yep.
Those are great. That's a great story because
I will
it's
never
great.
forget that about that. But then she turned my other daughter off. My daughter off of baseball, and she had one hell of an arm. God, I wish she would play softball.
Oh, really?
She from
That's-
home plate to second base could just chuck it, standing on kneeling down like
Oh,
I
she
would.
played catcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was because she wanted to be like her dad and just could throw it. My stepdaughter, Alexis, convinced her that the pitching machine is a scary thing. It was a small scary. The ball's coming at you and through the pitching
Oh,
machine.
yeah.
And my daughter went, I don't want to get hit. I said, you get plowed over on softball all the time. You play soccer all the time. The pitching machine is nothing. You have a bat. Hit it. But she didn't want to after that. So.
It's funny. I mean, the things that are in front of us, it's not if it's going to happen.
Yep.
It probably means it is going to happen. It's
Yeah.
how do you get through it? How do you push past, whatever it is that's in front of you? And, it's our lives. We know that it's coming. And if your life is perfect, you better put your seatbelt on because something's coming at you, whether it's death, tragedy, or there's nobody, cancer, right? Like
Mhm.
I can think of many other people that have a lot worse, right?
Oh yes, I do too. I live like I said, I live my life day by day, and I understand what you are preaching and everything else that you're saying. I love it, and I respect it. I do.
All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna do our last call. When we do our last call, do shout outs to anybody you want to. Anything that's coming up new in your future. Put that out.
My daughter Savannah Glisson. I just want to give it up to her. Church on the Move USA. She started it. She's putting together all these churches and links for young adults if they fly into Houston or if they fly into LA, they can link up to people that are just on fire for God. And what's really cool, she's having a big event at the end of July at the Rosa Parks Circle in Grand Rapids, bringing all these worship, praise and worship singers and people, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. I'm just so proud of her. So I'm giving a shout out to Savannah Glisson.
Joe, go ahead.
So, pretty much not knowing your background and your past and everything else that you've been telling us, you lived, like I said, one amazing life when I promoted you on this show. A guy with many, many, many hats. Wild and crazy. You lived a great life so far. And from going and living on a Indian reservation and traveling and everything else in the world, you experienced it. And giving these young gentlemen hope, faith, and believe that they can play basketball in these different countries. And you had a great percentile that you were saying, an 80%. And now you're doing stuff for the Boys and Girls Club. You did stuff for Benton Harbor schools. You did everything that you achieved, and you made it a great place. You have a great spirit and great everything else. I know you do well at Tim's too, and everything else you will be doing. And I would love to have you back on to hear more stories. So you just keep on living your peaceful and zenful life, and I love it. And every time I come into Tim's too, I love to see your smile. So
I appreciate you
That's
coming
awesome,
there
man.
too.
Oh man, coming into this episode, I wasn't sure what I was getting into. Didn't know your background.
oh, yeah.
But man, did you cook today? Did you cook today, man? I was just amazed by all the things you've done in your life, all the people that you touched in your life, the way that you open up your heart to people and had this big, big welcoming aura for everybody to see. You don't get many people like that. You don't, and it's I don't know. It's almost overwhelming to take all this in, just hearing it from you. But you made the story so fun and had me like this the whole time, just listening. It just gave me chills, yeah, goosebumps, inspiration, motivation to be a better person. And that's all you have to be, and the rest will come. Joy,
J-O-Y.
Great concept. Love it. Love it. And you know what? I think everybody should try to apply that to their lives because it means a lot. And then once it means a lot to you, it radiates and it goes to other people. Hats off to you, man. Chris, this has been probably one of the best podcasts that I've had because
Wow.
I don't know, it did something to me, man. It really did something to me. And Joe, stop being so. You're not humble right now.
Oh, no, never. Never.
But Chris, thank you
love
for
Joe.
joining us, man. I appreciate it
you.
so much.
Appreciate you.
This is a story that I will never forget. I'll tell you that much.
It was good. I like it.
And I'm glad you came on the show to tell us the story.
I'm very blessed.
It's great. It was a great story,
Thanks
man.
for having
We
me.
feel
Love it.
blessed to hearing the story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the belief, and you actually made listening to the church fun on top of it.
Church
That's
on
what
the move,
that's what
right?
Yeah.
that's what I liked about
Yeah.
it. You also
I
had,
felt like a
yeah.
kid again. I mean, it's just like the kid that listened to it. I mean, I don't know. It just opened up my ears and my mind to different things. I mean, different possibilities that can actually happen. So thank you so much for joining us. Please come back and see us again.
Come have communion over at Tim's too.
Oh, yeah.
At
Yeah.
511 Pleasant Street.
Actually, I never had
Yeah.
a communion.
I just played.
I know, but I haven't had communion there. I love the food. Next week we have on Monday,
That is next week, isn't it?
Munchie Man is
Yeah,
from the Brian. And then once again, we do have Mark and Lee coming on from Dartboard Compromise.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun show too, as well.
God help us on that one.
All right, guys. But we want to thank Chris Glisson for joining us
Yes.
today. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Very blessed.
Oh man, this is a great show. Scott, thanks for all the work you do behind the scenes, man. I appreciate you, brother. I want to thank everybody that watched, and then if you're watching it on all our any of our platforms, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you can get more content every Monday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. This is the Third Eye Truth Them, episode 181. We're getting out of here, guys. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.